Chelsea are looking to continue their unbeaten streak this weekend against Brentford. In today's video, I want to highlight how Chelsea can break down Brentford and continue their streak. Thomas Frank has been able to work wonders at Brentford since being promoted to the Premier League. Brentford's a team capable of playing a two different formation, 5-3-2 and a 4-3-3 with some versatility. Since Chelsea, when given the opportunity, will try to control possession in this match, it wouldn't be surprising to see Brentford fall into a low block and defend more than attack against Chelsea. So this opens the question, how will Pochettino be able to unlock Brentford and win the match? While Chelsea will be the ones controlling the pace of the match, it should be noted that Brentford are very keen on switching their tactics quickly, and this could be troublesome for Chelsea. First off, we need to look at the formation that Pochettino will utilize against Brentford. Now, I believe he's going to go with the same formation against Arsenal for the Brentford match this upcoming weekend, which means that Colwell and Thiago Silva will be the staring CBs in the back, which again makes most sense. Yes, Disasi is most likely fully fit. Battlefield will also be coming back from injury, but these two players have been playing very, very well and been very stable in the back. On top of that, we're going to see Gusto and Cucurella out on the left side. This makes the most sense because Gusto has been playing very well. Reece James is still coming back from the injury. Yes, he did play the 10 minutes against Arsenal, but I think we're not trying to rush him back as of right now. And Cucurella, I do not need to say how well he's been playing as of lately. Now, in the midfield, again, this makes total sense with these three pairings. We've been seeing this throughout the entire season, so again, don't have to say much about that. The big talking point, though, is going to be Palmer as the false nine once again. The reason why we want to see that is because what we see with Brentford, and we will talk about this a little bit more, is the way that they line up with their defense, and Palmer is going to be able to unlock that. Sterling, Mudryk, both make sense how well they've been playing as well. Mudryk, coming off that goal against Arsenal, deserves to start against Brentford. Now, one of the things we have to look at is how Brentford do set up in the low block. So pretty much what we will see with them is this back line here and this back line here, and typically with someone staying right here in between those lines to prevent any other central players getting in that position. Now, granted, this is why we want to play Palmer in this area, because what he's going to be able to do is float around in that area. So the fact is that Palmer can then drift off to the right side, can drift off to the left. The reason why we want to see it is because then we can actually overload these areas. So if the ball is played here off to the side, yes, Brentford will shift all their players this way, but again, we will have enough players to also overload that side and play the ball around. Now, granted, it still will be difficult to break this down. I mean, Brentford is very good when it comes to the low block. And on top of that, they're very good at defending the crosses out on the wings. So again, this will not be an option, which is why Jackson will not be starting this game. Granted, he would be a good threat in the air. Because Brentford's so good in the air inside their own box, Palmer makes more sense to start over again Jackson. Now, on top of that, the other thing we need to look at is the 1-2 passing between Palmer, Sterling, and Mudryk. And you could argue Enzo and with Gallagher. Now, these players themselves, what we're going to want to see is them playing the ball back and forth. But again, these overlapping runs are going to be very vital for Chelsea to break down this defense. Same with Gusto on the outside as well. So if he's able to overlap, play these balls, which again, then hopefully we can drag players in, drag these balls here. And actually what we'll play is the ball back to the out top of the box and therefore find the back of the net. Lastly, we need to look at how Chelsea will press Brentford, because at some points Brentford will win the ball back, but Chelsea are one of the better teams to high press. Yes, it is a little bit risky because you can get hit on the counterattack, but really Chelsea have been doing this quite well as of lately. Now, granted, if the ball is played around, we will see probably Palmer or possibly Gallagher move up top here and have Palmer drop back down, where again, we will try to push the ball out to the wings, because when we push the ball to the wing, Mudryk can come up, Fernandes can come up, and Palmer can push here, where then we'll boot the ball down and they'll lose the ball, or try to play here where Cucurella can again win that ball very quickly off to the side here. And granted, the same thing can happen on this side with Gusto as well, playing very defensively. Now again, they're going to try to play it here, but still with Thiago Silva and Colwell, who can definitely defend quite well inside the area, again, should shut down everything. This match itself should be a win for Chelsea. Yes, I understand Brentford have been a fairly decent team, have been a thorn in Chelsea in the last season, but still this is a game that Chelsea should win. So the one major issue is the following. As Brentford absorb attacks, they are able to hit on the counterattack, while Chelsea could be out of position or switch to a high press at times, and therefore leaving gaps in their defense. We will see how Chelsea handle this match. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give this a like and subscribe if you have not. And if you enjoyed this video, you may like the video on Pochettino revolutionizing Chelsea back to their winning ways.